introduce and, basically work together.
Well,
Doug, while you've got
our-
a minute, you may want to put your contact information into the chat so that people can follow up with you.
Okay, yeah.
And then we will all put our information in the chat and you'll have that.
We're going live in 10 seconds.
And you get a video.
So we are live now. Hold on 1 second. Oops, I don't want to do that. Record to the cloud. Good morning, friends, family, co-workers, business owners, people of all ages, and welcome to 1 Million Cups. If you haven't done so already, please do us a favor. If you can get the app to work, download and log into our 1 Million Cups app. The app allows us to do a couple of things, and allows you to do one important thing, is to connect and network with those that come to this event. So please log into the 1 Million Cups app, put your proper information in there so they can find you either on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever channel that you want to connect on, but log into our 1 Million Cups our 1 Million Cups app. Next slide. So our mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States, to include every last one of you. Next slide. Our key pillars. So we do presentations, not pitches. We're here for authentic connections. As you saw, before we started the presentation, that we actually know each other, or we want to get to know you. This is not networking. We're building a community, and it's for the community and by the community. Our culture. So we're a safe and supportive environment. 1 Million Cups is co-owned by all who support and show up to this call. We radical and intentionally inclusive. Our organizers, presenters, and attendees all work together. This is important. And just to let you know, we don't get paid here. We are all volunteers, and we're here to support each other. We often rotate organizers, so you'll see everybody chiming in as part of this. And we're here to make sure that our presenter gets the proper feedback, and they show back up on a regular basis to also get feedback. Reminder, we are on Facebook Live, so make sure that this is going out on the internet and it's being recorded. So be careful of what you say positive and thought-provoking questions. We would love for you to attend each week, provide feedback, engage online and at this event, and then also join our community. You could also follow us on 1 Million Cups Fairfax, 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. 1 Million Cups, these are our organizers. Behind the scenes, we're working hard to make sure that we bring you quality individuals and make sure that everything is squared away. Of our presenters is myself. Well, I'm not a presenter, I'm an organizer. Myself, Donnell Johns, Jen Dalton, Tony Barnett, Mayosha Mendez, John Yu, Melinda Siegel, John Rutenberg, Renetta Jones, Marnie Miller, and Russ McIntosh. Next slide.
Actually, Donnell, got to fix that. It's Rosemary. Sorry, got the deck late, didn't get the chance to update it properly. Rosemary, not Russ.
We need to have just one picture of Rosemary. That's how much value she brings to our organizing team. So we apologize we didn't have your picture up there, but we love you, Rosemary. In fact, if you look at the right-hand corner of our slides, we are powered by Gravitate, which is the organization that Rosemary represents. Of our sponsors today, we have Office Evolution. Sylvia, the floor is yours.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Sylvia Ferguson, and I'm the Business Center Manager of Office Evolution here in Tyson's Corner. At Office Evolution, we offer beautiful, affordable private offices, conference rooms, virtual services, such as a professional business address, So yeah, if you would like to learn more, I will put our information in the chat, and I would love to talk to you or give you a tour. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. And next up, we have Miss Phyllis Simon from Simon Law PLLC.
Thanks so much, Dano. Good morning. My name is Phyllis Simon, and I'm an intellectual property attorney. The mission of my practice is to help small businesses understand trademarks, copyrights, and patents. When people think of intellectual property, they often think about protecting their own intellectual property. The flip side of that is making sure you're not inadvertently infringing on the trademarks, copyrights, and patents of others. I work with businesses to develop strategies and best practices to protect their own intellectual property and reduce the risk of being sued by others. During today's presentation, I'll be dropping little bits of information on how to avoid infringing others' trademarks, copyrights, and patents in the chat. I hope you find them useful.
Thank you so much. I couldn't find the unmute button. So how our meetings work. Please mute your microphones. To ask a question, please use the hand wave icon. The moderator will say your name. Please unmute your mic, say your name, and then ask your questions, and then put your microphone back on mute. And have fun. Next slide. All right, so today we have our brother Doug Nguyen presenting today from Hustler. Doug, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Donnell. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here today. Nice to meet you all. My name is Doug Nguyen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hustler. Hustler is the on-demand gig marketplace where people can meet each other to us to help each other with the gigs such as cleaning, moving, deliveries, and you know, anything that people need help with instantly. Next slide, please. So how I came up with this idea was I used to have this furniture business back in college, buy and sell furniture. I used to go to garage sale and estate sale to purchase, you know, all the big furnitures to, you know, sell back to student back in college to make extra money. And, you know, it kind of get out of hand at some point, you know, so I ran into a problem. I mean, it was a kind of big problem, but it's a good problem. You know, I had like, at some point, 11 U-Haul storages filled with furniture. You know, it come with the problem is that like I have to move a lot of these big heavy pieces of furniture and I need a lot of help, especially like, you know, strong laborers. And at the time, it was pretty hard to find instant laborers around me, even though I live in a college town. A lot of students, you know, like they eager to make extra money, like 50, 100 bucks a day. A lot of them willing to do that. But you know, I had to use something like Craigslist to find laborers, but by the time I found them, you know, the job is pretty much done. So I come up with this idea. Next slide, please. So I come up with this idea that, you know, I want to build a platform that, you know, I'm going to be able to find laborers instantly around me. You know, like they would be pretty relevant to what I need help with right now. For example, right now I need instant movers. So who would be available right now, you know, like at 7 a.m. at a very early garage sale, estate sale, you know, to come here and help me within 15 minutes. So I come up with this idea, and we trying to build this platform, and you know, I come up with the name Hustler. So you know, like we launched it at the trial in 2018 called Labor's Ready. That's why the LR is red. and then it get pretty good positive feedback, but it didn't have enough functionality, so I had to go back and keep building it, and we relaunched again in 2019 as a site called geekintown.com. It's also the current version right now, but it get better. I got a lot of good feedbacks. Sorry about that, but it still didn't have enough functions. So we kind of like go back and build in. And recently we acquired a domain called geekmarket.com. So we're gonna relaunch again, and hopefully this time it's gonna be better. So this platform is very easy to use, very easy to entry, especially for workers. We use all the latest technologies with the AI and machine learning is very convenient for the user to use, especially in the matching. And of course, it's free to use for limited use. Next slide, please. So how it works is that, it's pretty straightforward. The supply meets the demand, the supply side is the workers, and the demand is the people who offer the gigs. They meet through us, they chat and communicate. They can also pay each other, and we also enable the matching using the latest technology. So how we make money is we charge the most frequent users. Let's say a lot of people, they use us a lot over the week, and they can do maybe 10-15 gigs per week or per month. We would ask them to subscribe to us. So hopefully we will be able to achieve that number, maybe about 10, 15 or 20% ideally. So our concept is not new. You guys probably heard of Thumbtack, especially Home Advisor. Now it's Angie's List, Handy, TaskRabbit, or one of the very early one, or other ones like Care.com. The online one is Freelance or Upwork or Craigslist. So all these platforms already been in the market for a while, but all these companies, they use a very old model, which they play a huge role as a middleman in the middle, and it's very inconvenient for the user to use, and they take a lot of commission. So what separates us from these companies is that we are basically a new version of this. We almost eliminate the middleman. We enable the technology that helps a user instantly find each other, communicate. They can talk to each other right away. They can find the gig right away, but it's also very safe. Even if you find someone to help you at midnight or 3 a.m. in the morning, you still be able to do it, because you basically have all the setup that protect you to a lot of extents. Next slide, please. So our plan next is that we're gonna try to validate, consolidate DC area. We basically come up with a complete proof of concept, and we're gonna try to expand to different cities and metros, especially in the East Coast first, such as like Baltimore, Philly, New York, or New Jersey and Boston. And ideally, we're gonna be able to grow to a bigger team and bring more capital in. And we recently, as I mentioned, we just acquired geekmarket.com. So hopefully with this domain, it's gonna be a great marketing boost for us. And this is the target for us in the next couple of years. Next slide, please. So right now the team consists of me and my partner Tuan. He's a technology officer. He's the one that developed all the infrastructure of the platform, and we also outsource a lot of jobs of the company to overseas team, they, you know, they helped us to do a lot of work as well. And, you know, of course, I'm in charge of all the business development and growth. Next slide, please. So yeah, that's it. You know, that's about us. And that's Hustler. And yeah, thanks for inviting me to present today. If you have any question, yeah, I'd be glad to answer. Appreciate it.
So what is your challenge question, Doug?
Yeah, my challenge question is right now is how can I better find, you know, the target customer and how can I reach to them?
Outstanding. I'm going to pass this over to Melinda to moderate.
Terrific. Great presentation, Doug.
Thank
Very
you.
impressed with what you're doing. I have one quick question, then I'm going to call on Tom Shift because he typed something into the chat. Are you going after the B2b market or the B2c market or both?
So at the moment, we are going to the retail customer, the B2C, because those are the ones that likely to sign up. Ideally, we're going to be able to target business soon because those are the ones that's going to heavily bring in the revenues. But, you know, in order to approach the business, we're going to have to be able to very well equipped. You know, at this point, we're still developing our products. So hopefully, you know, when we equip well enough, we're going to be able to approach the businesses.
Thank you. Tom Shift, you had a question you typed into the chat.
I do, but Shipe would be better, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, yes, my question to you was, well, thank you for the presentation. Let me start off that way. I think it's a great service that you've got. I'm always looking over my shoulder for somebody to help do something, and there's never anybody standing there. So how do you vet the people that I would be engaging with on your service?
So that's a great question. You know, the safety is always one of the biggest concern for not just us, but for everybody, and also for the you know, customer privacy, especially nowadays, everything comes online. So the way we bring user in, especially worker, we vet them pretty carefully. Right now, honestly, I'm doing that manually because I'm checking every single profile and ID. They would have to upload pretty much all the basic information, such as, you know, the state ID or driver license. And the next step for us would be plugging in the API that we're going to be able to do the background check. So once we successfully do that, you know, people are going to be able to see a lot of information about, you know, the workers, especially, you know, like a lot of works that require, you know, like the workers that have to be in the house, let's say babysitting. So, you know, that's going to have to be vetted very carefully. So, you know, we're trying to develop a way that, you know, if the gig creator, I mean, the person who offered the gig, they want to know more about this worker, but not violating the, you know, privacy and all kinds of the info, then we have to have a protocol how to approach this problem.
One follow-up, if I may. What about insurance? You have some kind of an insurance program for them?
Yes, insurance also something that we're going to do next for a lot of jobs that require, I mean, for a lot of jobs that have involved in heavy labor. Let's say someone's going to the roof to fix the roof repair, or, you know, some jobs are very dangerous. We would want to add on the insurance option for the pupil. But honestly, like our target customers are, I mean, our target market is really the jobs that at the very low end, like anything that less than $400 or $500, we are not really interested, because those are the pros. Those are the ones that actually need the licensing and certificate, and of course come with insurance. Let's say if someone, you know, come and fix your roof, they would need a license. You don't want someone that doesn't have a license. So you know, any job, let's say, you know, like car washing or just remove some pile of trash from the house, it doesn't have that much of you know, like requirement, then insurance is an option.
Thank you.
Sarah White has a question, and before I give the floor to Sarah, I just want to remind everybody to raise your hand under the reactions icon on the bottom, you will find where you raise your hands. And if you want, you can also send me a direct message or type into the text. And please be respectful of everybody and keep your questions short, and we can get more people in. Thank you. Sarah, you're on.
Doug, I thought that was a really great presentation and I love your product. So thank you so much for giving that. I'm filling in for Jennifer Rose today, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention your Chamber of Commerce. And have you spoken with the Chamber of Commerce yet? Because they can definitely help with the very question that you're asking about defining your target audience and then also reaching them. They would be a great asset for that. But I also wanted to ask if you were concerned about size. Is there a chance that your business grows too fast for you? What would be too fast for you? Or is it exponential?
Thank you, Sarah. Great question. Nice to meet you. I mean, if it's going too fast, it's a problem, but I'm glad to meet this problem. It's a great problem to have, to be honest with you. But this is like a two-sided marketplace. So I'm not building one side, I'm building two-sided customer. It's like a chicken and eggs. You can't really find the ones offer the gigs if you don't have workers to offer them, and vice versa. So I have to basically find customers. I mean, find the people who trying to make extra money in the weekend, like likely like Uber drivers or college student who off in the weekend, they trying to hustle to get some extra money. Then I would bring it to the gig owners that, hey, I have a worker here, what, if you need to hire them, here they are. So in the process of doing that, it takes a little bit time. So it's kind of like you go into step by step. So it's not going to be fast, as I learned over time. But the good thing is that everybody excited about making money. So we trying to find the places that we can bring the worker in very fast. Like anywhere that especially around college towns, a lot of students, they trying to find work over the weekend. So that's where we trying to go out and find to bring the worker in. But so far, it's not as fast as we hope.
Rosemary, I see you've got a question. And then Jen.
Thanks. So Doug, great presentation. Sorry, I thought I unmuted, but apparently I muted and then remuted. Great presentation, Doug. Thanks for sharing your company with us. One of the things that I think could help you with your challenge question is to speak to the people who are big users today on both sides of that marketplace and ask them why they signed up. Even if they're friends of yours and you ask them to sign up, ask them why they sign up and why they continue to use it. And see if you can find sort of like a golden thread, like it was easy to do, or I appreciate that there was background checks already done. Whatever the answer is, see if it continues through that. And that will help you better narrow down not just how to reach your clients on both sides of that marketplace, but some of the key words that will help you define who they are. So it might be, I'm always looking for a babysitter, but I don't want to go down the care.com route. Okay. So now instead of putting yourself out there as the Uber of task management, right? You might be we're easier than care.com, but we're as safe as care.com. Like you can then start comparing yourself. And then you can start to really go after not just the B2c market, right? Where you want to build up some of that quantity, but also as you start to think about your B2b play, which is the next stage of your business, then you can find companies that fit in that. We haven't used care.com because ... You've got the responses to that. So talk to your existing users and see what they tell you.
Yeah, that's great feedback. Thank you for your feedback. I actually yeah, I mean, doing surveys and customer feedbacks are one of the biggest challenge for me. I mean, we started from the very beginning. We used to go door to door, knock on people's door on Sunday, um, in the like a lot of nice neighborhoods, to ask people, hey, what do you need help with? And we got rejected a lot. Like a a random strange dude show up at my door and ask like, what you need help with, right? But turned out that a lot of them actually needed the help. Let's say the moment they open the door, I can see that they have a lot of things organized in the house, or a lot of them open the garage. I'm like, yeah, you need to reorganize the garage right here. And he's like, yeah, I do need it right now. I haven't thought about it. So I learned that a lot of people actually don't know what they needed help with until they do. Let's say you need to go somewhere, but you have a kid right here, and then you need a babysitter right now. And at that moment, they know that they need help. Like maybe you have a lot of, maybe one of these days, you already face a situation where you have to go somewhere urgently, and you need a babysitter, something like that. So yeah, like building a kind of like feedback loops, collectively from customers. It's actually one of the most important things that I have to do in order to really get this thing right, especially building the minimum viable product. Yeah, I'm always trying to find ways to do that, like through either online or offline, like SurveyMonkey, Google spreadsheet. But there's always like limited to that. So yeah, I mean, if you guys like have any recommendation, I would be glad to hear, and thank you.
Jen. Dalton.
Yes, the one time I'm the only Jen in the room. It's crazy. My thought or suggestion would be, as you look at TaskRabbit and you look at all of the different platforms, they have a pretty specific thing that they are offering, right? And I'm wondering, how do you make Gig in Town more niche? So if it were something where maybe the people who are there looking for gigs are always college students, or they're young in their career, but how do you differentiate for people who want to give people an opportunity to build that skill set and be discerning? Otherwise, it gets a bit tricky as you build a platform to compete with TaskRabbit and others where they're very clear on their message. So I'm not sure what the answer is per se, but I would recommend going out and looking at those different groups and seeing who could you target that might really be a good fit, right? Is it only students in business school or in landscaping school, or do you have a partnership with George Mason? I don't know. I think there's a place to consider, how do you stand out and get differentiated so people would want to use you and opt in.
So yeah, that's a great question. Actually, you go into the very right direction that what we facing with. So this company like Thumbtack, Angie's List, TaskRabbit, they very good at what they're doing. Then they have been, and they used to focus on a lot of area, but now they narrow down their own niche. Let's say TaskRabbit turned out right now to be a furniture assembly company because they get acquired by IKEA. So they're very good at like furniture assembly. So for us, we also trying to find where we fit in right now. And what I found out myself personally is that we fit in the very low end kind of market, not particularly by any kind of job, but by the size of the job. Like anything that less than $200, is perfect for us. But anything that over 500 that require licensing and pros, we won't be able to. I mean, we might be able to do that, but maybe later on down the road. And we also found out that student actually not really a great of a fit, because that's what we thought in the beginning. So we approached a lot of colleges, but turn out, they don't have that much of a urgent need to make money. The real people that have an urgent need to make money, the workers, are the one that actually young professional with young family, young kids. They're very excited to go out on weekend, making extra money, driving Uber, things like that, because they have the real need to make extra couple $100, over the weekend. So yeah, that's what we learned in the reality. So we trying to, we still open for college student, because if we can, basically have a deal with the school that, hey, if you guys can help us with the source of students that go in now, because a lot of school offer volunteers, in the weekend or something, to help with a lot of programs. So if we have something like that, that would be ideal, and we're willing to offer training too. So the way we help these people to start up, like, let's say you are the young hustler, you start off slow, but we have a way that you can build up your profile and skills, so that you're going to be able to, learn more and get better as you perform other jobs along the way. And maybe by the time you graduate, you're going to be a pro. At that time, you have all the portfolios, all the proof, the job that done that you needed to build your profile. And here it is. We have to boost up your marketing, and your image online. You can just get a lot of jobs.
So Doug, we have a lot of questions in queue, so I want to make sure we give people time to ask
Okay.
questions. If you want to just keep your answers short and
Okay.
concise, that would be
Sorry about
awesome.
that.
Although they're very helpful, so we appreciate that.
Doug, what I also wanted to say is that to everybody, please raise your hand if you've got a question, or put something in the chat. In the meantime, I've got a couple of questions I wanted to ask. I realize you're looking for people to be part of your gig team, but you're also looking at the different markets that you want to sell. And I wrote down a couple of ideas. One was to go after the U-Haul industry, because sometimes people are hauling things around, but they can't haul it all because it's really heavy. Property managers in apartment buildings, they're moving things in, moving things out, and they know people that want to move in. So maybe there might be some opportunities for you. I wrote down the over 55 senior market. And then you can get them through senior living locations. They move into a place and they may need help moving things around. I think that would be a really great market. And on that same end of that, I wrote down Home Depot, garden centers, gardeners, because a lot of those types of folks will buy things or want something picked up that they can't pick up and bring home because they've, it's too heavy. And the last one I wrote down was the event marketing industry. As people get back into events, or even when there are like street locations in the greater DC that are having like a pop-up event, which happens every summer, that they may have certain events. The people want to bring things from their trucks and their cars and set up their booths, and then they need help at both ends of the event. And you also may be able to find in all of these locations people that may want to work, or that are people that can work for you. Have you thought of these industries, and which are you looking for right now? Are you looking for more of who you're going to bring in as workers, or are you looking for what markets can you also call on?
You are absolutely on point, Melinda. Those are ideal target that we are trying to approach, especially when you mentioned U-Haul and Home Depot. It's a great place to approach, but there's still other things that we try to do before we get there. I mentioned earlier that we're trying to finish our validation and development, because when you approach business, you have to be ready. If the process is broken and they give you a try and it doesn't work, then we would lose them. So I kind of want to be ready before we approach them. But yeah, those are absolutely on point. And thank you.
Marnie, I'm sorry, I didn't notice that your hand was raised.
That's okay. I don't know how to change the color of my hand. It does blend into the corner there. So I will work on my getting a tan and fixing that. So Doug, a couple quick points I just want to make so we don't take up too much time. I see in Nextdoor all the time people asking for exactly what you're doing. So that was the first thing that came to mind. Is Nextdoor, I think, would be a fantastic way to to get on both ends, both your workers and the people that need the help, and the kind of help they're looking for is definitely in the price range of the thing that you're, of what you're looking for. So that was the first thing. I know you talked about college campuses and the positives and negatives. I have a college student who is an Instacart driver on occasion, and I can see the positives and negatives of that age group. I would say seasonally, they'd probably be better, right? So I think summertime, you might be able to get a little bit more of that audience, and that might be a good, and same with winter break. However, I do appreciate there's a lot of initiative on the part of the worker to accept the job versus a job just being handed to them. So I love what you mentioned about maybe the older students or the young professionals, and someone much smarter than me can search people who are associated with Instacart and Uber, people who are already looking for that gig job, whether it's through LinkedIn or, and finding and narrowing those searches might be a better way for you to find your workers on that side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you also tap, the right place, which is Nextdoor. We've been trying to go on Nextdoor, but, we haven't really fully, like developed to come to Nextdoor, because, if you come to Nextdoor, you have to come it right. Honestly, we try a few platforms, but, we trying to get user from them, so they don't look at us as the right entity to work with. So we don't want to be like one of them that they would block us out later. So, I thought of Nextdoor, it's a great place, to tap into. It's a great source of users, and yeah, it's very potential, so I'm trying hard to get ready to come to them. And thank you.
Phyllis. Unmute.
Yep. Doug, thanks for that presentation. I'm looking at your website, and I really like how easy it is to navigate. Right up at the top, you say you can click a button, I'm here to hire, or I'm here to work. I think that makes a lot of sense. Just a couple comments on your website is that it looks like there's really only one gig right now. And I wonder if there's a way that you can set gigs to expire. Like, for example, if you're sorting by newest, there's something that's like, we need a snowblower. It's like, well, we're no longer in winter. That's not really relevant. So maybe clean that up a little bit so it looks like the marketplace is turning over a little bit quicker. And the other thing is the description at the top. It says like, we can help you with moving, cleaning, delivery, and just about everything you need an extra hand with. It makes it sound like Gig in Town is going to perform the services rather than Gig in Town connecting people who can perform the services with the people who need the services. So I don't know if you can maybe better define the role that you have of being the connector rather than the actual provider of the services.
Thanks, Phyllis, for the feedbacks. This is very good feedback. We actually, had all this. You can, if you click on the gig market, you see all the gigs. There's a lot of gigs too, but because there's still a lot of glitches in the back end, the bugs we have to fix. So, if you sort it by the gig, it might not show up properly. But yeah, that's the next version 3. It's gigmarket.com. When it's coming out, it's going to be not like extremely a lot better, but it will be better for sure. And especially the church require a lot of like machine learning and implementation. So we have to go and work on that, because a lot of people gave us the data. A lot of gig workers, they upload resume and work portfolio, so we have to sort them through and make sure which one is the right one that be suggested with this kind of job. So we still, it's a work in progress. So.
Eddie Lloyd, you've got a question?
I have a question, kind of a comment. I'll try to make it very fast. Doug, good morning. Presentation was good. I'm looking at your website. And I was going to ask you, who's your competition and I've heard people mention a few, right? So I'm presuming there's a lot of people kind of working in this space. And I was thinking as I was listening that maybe if your product was targeted at a particular need, for example, the Hispanic workers who I see looking for work on a day-to-day basis. I know they need the work. I know there are organizations that are out there trying to find work for them. And I wondered if maybe your product, since it's targeted at the lower end, might be designed to make it easy for these people to find work. And by focusing on this particular subset of workers, it'll help you define more what your product is and what it can do for the gig worker. Thank you very much. I hope I'm not confusing.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Yeah, it's it sounds simple, like, you know, you're connecting gig worker and the gig, but you know, when it goes deeper into it, it requires a lot of you know, like development and basically a lot of thought that you have to into how to build in the back end. So we went through that process. For example, like, you know, let's say a lot of Hispanics worker out there standing at in front of 7-Eleven. They need work, but they don't know how to find work, and these people can't pick them up. So this is where we are here for. You know, you don't have to stand there all day. You can go online, you see all the gigs. And one of the things that we found out, we learned is that these people, they know each other. So we will develop something called team builder. So if you have someone that can come and help you with this kind of job, like let's say moving, usually require 2 persons. So you can ask your friend to join us and as a like referral team. So you basically have a list of friends that can help you to do a lot of gigs, things like that. So yeah, that's something that we actually developing right now in the back ends that, you know, would help user use it more easily. But in the front end, it would be, you know, as simple as it is, so people don't get confused. So yeah, thank you.
Jen Dalton, you've got a great idea that you just posted, and I want to add to that because I was writing something down like it. So I'll go after you real fast. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, there are just a few organizations in the area, or a lot of organizations in the area who work with people who are unemployed. I might go directly out of your way to connect with them, whether it's Career Confidence, whether it's organizations that do transitional housing, where they have people who are getting training on the job front, but they still need income while they're going through training or while they're trying to find a job. And so they're working, they're trying, but they just need a little bit of support. And so this app might be a good way to close out some of the gigs you have that are opening or still open right now, which also isn't the best sort of look, right? You want to show that, hey, this was assigned yesterday and delivered yesterday. So I would reach out to some of those organizations, 1, to help, but 2, to close out the gigs you have that are live right now that have been active for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, since Melinda mentioned earlier too, you know, like there's a lot of places like senior living facilities. They have a lot of gigs, a lot of small things that they have offer, or a lot of senior people need help with. And we also been thinking about how to approach this place. But honestly, like, you know, I wanted to be ready before I approach them. So I'm still thinking about, you know, how I'm gonna be able to properly approach these people and be ready, you know, when I come to them. Because honestly, like, opportunities always out there, but if you're not ready and you approach them, you know, too early, then you just miss out.
So Doug, I've got a couple of ideas that I just posted for you where you can reach people that are unemployed through Salvation Army. And I can actually probably help you do that by finding out who. I sit on the board of directors of the Alexandria Citadel. That's one. I also thought about the unemployment offices that are out around the county. I know people aren't going there, but they do have a job board that would probably be really worthwhile. The other place that's a real natural, and you need to think about how to make it a little bit more casual in your approach, but not really, is supermarket bulletin boards. I mean, there are tons of people that are looking for jobs, for places to live, for moving, how to move things, picking up a mover. There's in Alexandria, there's a place called LA Mart. It's got great stuff, but they have a really active bulletin board that people are posting places to live, places to all sorts of things that people need. And a lot of people that are in and out of the stores are new to this country, and they're looking for jobs, maybe even being tie-ins with immigration lawyers. I can introduce you to an immigration lawyer that might, know people in the area that may need things. I'm just trying to think a little bit out of the box for you of what are some natural types of places where you can go to. And not only just the Salvation Army, but there are a lot of other nonprofits that really help people who are looking for work get work. And these are the types of programs that they tried to get them into. And the idea of working on a couple of hours here and a couple of hours there is a good way to get people back into the workforce.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. That's what I'm having trouble with, finding those places. Yeah, like I want it to be like actually ready before I post it on the metro too, because if you do that, you would have to find a similarity between the metros. Like, so something like here might work here, but if you go to New York, it might not work. So we don't want to be too universal, but we also don't want to be too different in every metro. So it would make it difficult. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm having trouble with right now.
I'm looking for hands posted. Anybody raise your hand if you've got a question. Otherwise, I'm going to call on Danelle for the last question of the day. Oh, Rosemary Murray first.
So one quick thing, Marnie had posted this a little earlier. Doug, you and I talked about this when we were prepping for today. I know that you're carrying a bunch of different names and logos. So you and I discussed that hustler in the context of the American psyche might evoke a different target customer than you're actually looking to go after. I know you're actively pursuing new domains. So one thing that may help as you're ready to launch is to really think about the name of the company. Labor Ready I didn't realize that the LR was different because Labor Ready, which is actually a really great name, but something along those lines. Marnie doesn't like Labor Ready, but that's okay. You can find, I would just suggest that you think about names other than Hustler. Just a couple of people's input here.
So
yeah,
you're not the only one that actually mentioned this. A lot of people suggested me because of the connotation. But I've been going back and forth, because the first time when I came up with this name, I thought it was cool and I tried so hard. I even trademarked it. So I own it now. But, over the time I received a lot of feedbacks and most of them are not good. So I'm definitely thinking about this. But one of the reasons why I'm keeping this because of, of the marketing purpose. So, if you find something online or you search up something, this one it's very catchy. So, I'm still debating about keeping it because I haven't launched it yet. But I'm thinking if I should launch it or if I launch it just to get the, targeted marketing, or it's going to go back and bite me later. So, that's what I'm actually thinking about.
I mean, the concept of hustle, it's a great word. It's a great approach. I think just changing from hustler to something else associated with hustle would be a great approach. It's just, the magazine has defined that footprint, and I don't think you can market your way around that, even with millions of dollars, which I assume you don't have. So that's just, there you go.
It's why some big brands change their name when all of a sudden there's a product that comes out that uses it. Like I remember the AIDS of the diet products that you would chewies that you could chew back in the 70s and 80s, and things like that. So good point, Rosemarie. Danelle, do you have the last question of the day for Doug?
Yes, in fact, last week I forgot to ask the last question, so I'm gonna make sure I ask that up front. Doug, amazing presentation, and more than that, amazing idea. This is I'm a big fan of helping people make money, and your idea, allows those that are looking to make money in solving problems. So my question to you is, what can our 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Honestly, like, I just realized that you guys have been giving me so much of great feedbacks. All these things, it's very on point. That's exactly what I'm facing with. So, yeah, just basically be on here and like talking to you guys, I already realized a lot of problems I'm having. And yeah, I guess, like being, I mean, I haven't been really a part of the community yet, but being a part of the community today, like it's already helped big time. And so what my problem right now I have is really validating my idea, consolidating the DC area and find the customers, right? Like my challenge question. So yeah, that's my challenge right now. So I'm trying to find help with that. I know that there are probably a lot of great mentor, like sales mentor, technology mentor, expert on here. So hopefully, I will be able to get some of that help from you guys or something like that. And I really appreciate it.
Well, you have 22 allies on this call today that are here to help you and support in your success. So thank you so much. Let's give Doug a round of applause.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The only thing that I ask of you is you come back, Doug, and give us the same type of feedback and love that we gave you today. So thank you.
Yes,
and we'll see
definitely.
you next week.
Thank you.
All right. Next week we have, I'm going to try to pronounce this. In fact, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Y'all try to pronounce it in your head, but this is who we have next week. And I apologize if I can't say it wrong. If the person is on this call or someone knows how to say it, please unmute it and
Just
say
go
it.
with oculi.
Yeah.
Oculi, yes.
Thank you very much. I was going to say something a little bit worse than that, but but they're going to be here next week to present. Please come back. We want you to invite a friend that can use the same type of love that we gave Doug today. Bring a friend to our event next week.
Yeah, these guys, this is right out of science fiction. If you Google them and go to their website, this is one of those rare companies where the technology is so far advanced. This is going to be really cool.
All right. So we have openings on May 19th and May 26th. If you haven't presented before, please put in your application. We would love for you guys to present at 1 Million Cups. Next slide. Here's our calendar. If someone wants to go over the calendar real quick.
Sarah, it's the calendar from the chamber if you want to go over some of the events.
It's okay. We've got a lot of stuff there. I don't know if she's on still. Oh, there she is.
I am still on. I'm not going to be as good as Jennifer going over this, but if you check out the Chamber's website, they do have Women Mean Business coming up. So all you ladies come in. We have Diane AF talking about some financial planning. And then don't miss the Nova Business Roundtable every Tuesday. Melinda and I are often there, so you'll have a couple friendly faces. Come see us.
We also have a number of events from Fairfax County EDA coming up this week. And one big surprise, our rock star, Margarita Womack from Mas Panadas, who presented to us a couple of years ago. If you all watch QVC tonight at 6 o'clock, she will be on QVC's Gourmet Show selling her empanada products. I'm negotiating with her to come back and do a big update because when she started with us, she was only in a couple of stores locally, and she will be this September national at Safeway, Giant, and Trader Joe's.
Outstanding. That's great news. And I love to hear great news about our past presenters, and we hope everybody gets that same amount of success.
Donnell, can I add, this is Dan Linder. The Reston Chamber Network Night is next Tuesday, the 27th. So if anyone wants to join, let me know. Or I put the link in the chat. You can go and register. If you register, let me know, and I can have the fee waived. So just let me know, because I co-chair the membership committee for the Reston Chamber.
Outstanding.
Thank you, Dan.
We have a Veteran Business Expo coming up May 1st. Even if you're not a veteran, you can come to this event with a ticket from the link here and a real ID or a passport. You can go on Fort Belvoir and you can come and shop and have a great time at our Veteran Business Expo.
Yeah, Donnell, I'm going to have to coordinate with Jen for the calendar for next week, because there are no Saturdays on our calendar. Otherwise, I was going to put the link on there for today, but I couldn't fit it on because we can't do the first.
Yeah, well, just make it a big slide by itself. That's what
But I can do that.
Well, we would love the support. We have 40 vendors, a musical artist, a DJ, and 3 food trucks that's going to be at this event. If you ever said thank you for your service, now is the time that you can show your love to veteran and military spouses by attending this event and having a great time.
Donnell, quick question. Are they lifting the real ID requirement to get to there?
No, you have to have a real ID to get in there.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, a real ID or
so it's not a driver's license?
a real ID is a driver's license.
Yeah, I understand. I didn't get a real ID yet. That's why, yeah.
It's
Okay.
Not all driver's licenses are real IDs.
Right, I know that.
But if you have a passport, not an expired passport, but a passport and a regular driver's license, you can get in. So, and a
So for
ticket.
adults, so if you're 18 or under, you don't need that.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. But we would love to have you. We have 3 minutes left. Anyone else have any events?
I have an event I put in chat tonight that I'm moderating with Tina Fox from Women on Course and Vijay Ketherpal from Integrity Financial Group. We'll talk about golf, business, and life. It should be very fun. And then tomorrow I'm speaking at MEC Fairfax. Thank you, Sarah, for putting that shout out on the chamber site with Jennifer. And I'll be speaking about branding and marketing, how they're different and why businesses need to know the difference.
Well, thank you everyone for attending. This has been a great event. You guys kind of scared me by showing up a little late today. But at the same time, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Thank